Oh, hi, this is Theo. I just want to motivate Africa tonight. The state of Africa is a challenge for me. Economically, 6 of the fastest growing world economies are all in Africa, which is a good thing for Africa, which is the good image of Africa, which means that if Africa can work a little harder, African can lead, and African can feed the world. Whilst we are having a lot of famines and a lot of problems with agriculture in most of the countries of Europe and even the US. We can see what is happening in California with all the fire and all that, which means that if African can work a little hard, and Africa can think of rural infrastructure development, developing the rural areas and helping the people that live in the villages to live there like they live in an urban area. I think Africa will be very, very good. What is the point if we have all these beautiful structures behind that? Structures in Africa, and we have good infrastructures in all the cities, like Lagos, like Abuja, like Accra, and like Johannesburg, like Cape Town, and all those big capitals with like Lome, but then when you go into the villages, it's sad. People still live in all those tattered, mud houses and whereas we talk about development, we talk about infrastructure development, and there is no any thought of the governments, to think about infrastructure development in those rural areas. And being the reason why most of them will work so hard, harvest their crops, and the next thing you see is that they are on the Sahara Desert trying to hit Europe, and most of them are captives in Libya, and nothing is being done about them. They are dying every day. They are stuck in Libya. They are put into a detention, in detention centers that are worse than prisons, and with a lot of people choke up in those places, no water, and what we see is diseases, cholera, and all those diseases, malaria are breaking through because mosquitoes are biting them. Because Libya is one of the hottest places, in Africa, because just after the Sahara is Libya, and it's a problem. It's a problem, and I'm worried about this, and I think that we have to think of helping our people, helping those in the rural areas with infrastructure development. Let's help them. You can't tell me that you presidents of Africa, you're living in good houses, good places. You go to Congo, you go to Kenya, Kenya is doing very well, but you go to places like Congo, Central Africa, places in South Africa, even Sierra Leone, Liberia, and it's difficult. People are struggling, even Ghana, even Nigeria. You go to rural areas and life in the rural areas are like hell. I think something can be done. We can transform this. We can change it. We can build a better African state for our people by developing the rural areas with infrastructure development. What is infrastructure development? If you talk about infrastructure development and you can't see good roads, a friend of mine was just telling me that he was in Accra recently. He was in Ghana and he was in Tema, and from just one place to the other, going to a very short distance place from one place to the other, it took them over 3 hours in the traffic. There should be a way. There should be a way. There should be a way that we develop infrastructure development. There should be a way that we think of urban development. There is a way that we think even in the big cities. We have to find ways to ease the traffic, to help our people and make people stay in Africa. Because when you go to places like France, and you go to places like Spain, and you go to places like Italy now, even Belgium, there are big parks that you see a lot of black people sleeping on it. You see a lot of people from all over the world, stuck and sleeping. They are homeless. That's the image of Europe now. It's only some of us and those of us that have citizenships and we can work, that can live in Europe comfortably. But those that are coming to hustle, it's not the time to go to Europe to hustle. That money you are going to use to pay a connection man to travel, I can encourage you that you can do something with that money. It can be a business capital, and you can stay there without coming to Europe to go through what we went through of struggling to get papers, which can take 10 to 15 to 20 years, which the connection men don't tell you. So it's not the time to waste your time, waste your life all the way to go to Europe. No, it's not. It's time to stay in Africa. It's time to develop Africa, because Africa is the image of the next move economically. If we can think well and promote made in African goods, and we can trade among ourselves, we wouldn't need to travel to Europe. Because in Europe there are a lot of citizens that are homeless themselves because they have no profession, they have no qualification, and what they are getting from the state as job seekers allowance or supplementary welfare allowances are not enough to take them. Which means that if you come, you will be sleeping outside, and that is why a lot of Africans are stuck. And what I want to do is I want to interview 500 Africans that are stuck in all those countries: France, Belgium, Spain, Italy, Greece. I want to interview them so that they can tell you what they are going through. Thank you very much, and God bless.